I thank you for your gracious reception.
It is an honor to be visited by Elise, the Sword Maiden.
Please, there is no need to bow. My line carries on a sword and legend, and we have no political affiliation.
Ephemera permeates the minds of those who use it. It amplifies violent urges and drives them to eliminate those who have not been afflicted. I learned this while developing the castrums and presented my findings to the king, who issued a policy on the spot prohibiting ephemera. The Prime Minister and his allies disagreed most violently. They assassinated the king, blaming we royal siblings, and usurped the throne.
Am I to believe that in the absence of evidence?
Lady Harriet, reporting. We have a massive conjuration reading on the plains in front of our camp. It's a Castrum Demonica summons.
I imagined he assembled some forces while you were making contact with us to exploit the Sword Maiden. Nay, one's own niece as a pawn. You truly have lost yourself to madness, Lutz.
Lutz managed to summon a Castrum Demonica to protect the royal capital. But to no avail. The Guardians struck it down. But Lutz refused to admit defeat. He fled into Coento Castle. Harriet's group pursued Lutz to put an end to the revolution. The setting? Coento Castle, the throne room. Here, the war ravaging the nation was to finally meet its end.
This cannot be. It can't. It can't. It can't! This can't possibly be right! The Castrum Demonica, the power of ephemera, defeated at the hands of man?
Lutz! You have nowhere left to run!
I'm not done. Once I destroy you all, my grip on the throne will be ironclad!
Such destructive power! Is this too the power of ephemera?
Even as a mere catalyst, this is what it's capable of. Now you see why our nations are all so interested in studying it.
This is no time to gloat!
Damn this cursed flower!
The ephemera! Harriet!
Let's not get violent with my sisters now,
I fought for the nation. Why do you oppose me? Harriet! Luther!
For the nation? Now there's a poor jest. In what way have your deeds served the people?
The nation and its people have no desire for war. That is why the savior of legend, the Guardian, sided with us.
Uncle,
Alice, of course. You can smite these fools and bring peace to the land.
that I cannot do. My sword and might have no place within this conflict.
Even Alice the Sword Maiden betrays me. Have you forgotten all I've done for you?
Please, Uncle, surrender. Your cause is not a just one. But mistakes can be rectified. Ply your skills for the good of the people and join hands with us once more.
Join hands? For the good of the people? You delude yourself, Sword Maiden.
Uncle,
Our power and intelligence serve one purpose, and one alone. They exist to be offerings to the land and the world. That is what Ephemera is for.
Triggering a runaway mana reaction? How stupid can a man be?
You'll all join me in death. The world must be destroyed. All of history must be destroyed!
The exits are all blocked! I think we're trapped here!
sword, legend, I call upon you now. Fleeting wings, I bid thee come forth. Exit!
Huh? Are we outside the castle?
Was that instantaneous teleportation? I thought there was no such sorcery.
There is but one method. The Sword Maiden calls upon the legend to work an ancient miracle.
I wasn't certain that would work, but the sword answered my call.
Did you notice that? I didn't pick up any warning signs or anything. Not even Ark's technology could pull off an instant no-prep teleportation. Maybe it's something along the same lines as the magic that Alma uses. The castle!
His delusions of grandeur were his downfall. The throne Lutz so desperately craved will be his tomb.
What did you find, Varuna? Any sign of Lutz?
None that we could find, ma'am. It's safe to assume he was caught up in the collapse.
I see. Elise,
I am fine. I was ready for this. My uncle's madness was plain to see in his final moments.
Perhaps he was a smokescreen.
Huh?
It seemed to me as though he was being controlled by a far greater will.
what will would that be, Luther?
I can't be certain just yet, but the Savior wouldn't appear for a mere dispute over the throne. This problem spans beyond our nation. Disaster looms over the whole world. Wouldn't you agree, Guardian?
pardon me. I'll call you Guardian, as Lady Harriet does. Greetings. My name is Elise, and I have been appointed the Sword Maiden of this era. It's a tremendous honor to meet a figure from the legend in person.
But, aren't you also a figure from the legend, Elise?
I come more from tradition than legend. In every generation, the Sword Maiden's blade and strength is passed on solely to a chosen one.
Her blade and strength, huh?
I don't know about that. I've never considered comparing my strength to that of others. My strength exists for one thing and one thing only. My power is meant to be used to slay the Crimson Fellworm when it returns to life one day. My sword and the power I have inherited do not manifest except against the Fellworm. That is the nature of the legend. It is an outdated legend, fraught with burdens of obligation. Yet, I cannot make light of it. I cannot be separated from our unbroken history. As the nation tilts this way and that, my blood relatives fall like so many flies before my very eyes. Yet, I still cannot wield my strength.
I can only imagine how painful that must be.
But it is my duty. For I am the last line of defense against the inevitable return of the Fellworm. No matter how painful or miserable it may be at times, I have never once resented it. That's how beings of legend operate, isn't it, Guardian?
I have a status report about the Quento Royal Army. They are transitioning peacefully to the new regime. Some forces have left the military to become mercenaries or bandits, but not in any large numbers.
However, there are still Castrum Demonicas in the land. They will persist even if their summoners perish. They are not weapons that will simply fade away. We must continue destroying them. I hate to place this burden upon you, Guardian, but please aid us in this. If only it were in my power to control a Buster Tower, I would gladly assist.
We're searching for more people capable of using Buster Towers. But so far, we have no prospects. Surprising no one, I'm sure. Castrum Demonicas are born from the use of ephemera. Destroying them requires power on the same level. For the Guardian to activate a Buster Tower without ephemera shows their power is easily on par with that of ephemera.
I'm not sure I care for your tone.
I meant nothing by it. I was simply stating the truth. If the truth bothers you, perhaps there's something weighing on your conscience.
You love deflecting, don't you? How about a simple thank you for once?
I think the fact that I don't even remotely question your background would show gratitude aplenty. Is that not enough for you?
Oh, forget it!
In addition, we've been investigating Lutz's followers to gauge their intentions. But so far, we haven't come up with many red flags. In fact, most of them seem grateful you've ascended to the throne, Lady Harriet.
My uncle held things to his own personal standards, and often made unreasonable demands. He was already getting backlash as it was.
Does that mean everyone's going to be happy with Harriet's revolution?
No, I doubt things will go so smoothly. In a struggle for the throne, one must follow the victor. At least, on the surface. Quento isn't a monolithic entity. There are others besides Lutz who extolled the virtues of ephemera. I'm sure such people will pay lip service to our ideals, while secretly awaiting an opportunity to strike. and overthrow the royal family. Which is why we must never let ourselves be seen as vulnerable. Thank you for your report. Keep up the good work. Cuento Castle and its pretender king were no more. In light of this, Harriet's first act was to proclaim that the capital would be relocated. With the royal capital in chaos following the castle's collapse, she established a provisional capital in a neighboring fortress city. As the people went about the process of relocating, one issue remained unresolved: the lack of a royal heir. There was only one woman with a claim to the throne, and she continually refused to accept it. It's too soon for me to take the throne. Please, Luther, take my place.
No, this is your job. For one thing, my claim to the throne was stripped away, a fact that is very much public knowledge. To deny the people an heir would be to disappoint them in their hour of need. Harriet, it is your duty to bear the weight of the crown.
Must I? Really? That is most reassuring to hear from you, Guardian. But
Harriet's pretty young. Don't you think it's a little too soon to give her that kind of responsibility?
There is no such thing as too soon or too late in matters of royal succession. Suitability is all that matters. Ease Artia to the east has a young child as their head of state and national symbol. Epic to the west has a divine queen who acceded to the throne at 17. No older than you. Age is irrelevant. What matters is whether the would-be ruler has the resolve to devote themselves to their country. I have no such resolve. That's why I erred so grievously in my self-righteous research, and why I was stripped of my claim to the throne. But you, Harriet, you have that resolve, my sister.
Luther. Guardian. Very well. In the name of my royal line, I, Harriet Renata Reina Cuento, do hereby humbly accede to the throne. Guardian, I beseech you, illuminate our way and support us in our hour of need.
Ah, Lady Harriet, should you be walking around this humble place?
Mind your manners. I think you meant to say, Your Majesty?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Lady Harriet is our ruler now.
What did I just say?
I'm still just barely getting on my feet as a ruler, so feel free to keep calling me Harriet.
Lady Harriet! Lady Harriet! What's a ruler?
Well, a ruler is somebody who represents everybody in the land.
Are they big and important?
No, they're not big or important. They're the same as everybody else, just a little higher profile.
Ooh, are you a show-off, Lady Harriet?
Well, yes, I am a show-off. I'd be embarrassed to do it all by myself, so I hope you'll all be there to support me.
Totally! Yeah!
Yeah!
Lady Harriet!
Lady Harriet!
Lady Harriet!
Lady Harriet! All these people flocking to her! They must really love her!
I wouldn't quite call it love. Prime Minister Lutz, that is, the former king, burdened the people considerably to maintain our national prestige. The people are excited to be liberated from those burdens, and they have high hopes for the next regime, as I see it. That and I've often snuck out into town since I was a young girl, so people tend to know my face. They know my character as a politician. It is a relief to them. That is why they support me, and why I must live up to their expectations. This is the first step towards restoring our kingdom. making the people happy is a king's most basic duty. And while I work to earn the trust people place in me, I have more duties besides. Luther and I still have a goal: to seal away ephemera for good.